So the message that we're going to be talking about is why all Christians must speak out against syncretism in the African church. Why all Christians must speak out against syncretism in the African church. Why all of us must begin to wage war against syncretism in the African church. Why all Christians must speak out against syncretism in the African church. And by the time I begin to show this video, you will understand very well why we must act very fast right now, because this is going to affect almost all of us. It's going, even if you don't have children yet, it's going to affect your children. And even if your children are adults, it's still going to affect your children and grandchildren, because if we don't speak out, and I know you all know about my plague of silence. You remember the plague of silence? Yes, that lesson of plague of silence is coming true now, especially by the time you see the video I'm going to be showing. Now, can you go to show the video, the title of that video? Let's see what it calls it, if you can show the video. This is a young man, a young Nigerian man that did a video, and the video is called Shame on Adeboye. I mean, that is an insult. That is an insult for anybody to say, especially for a 20-something-year-old guy to come on, World Wide Web and be calling out somebody that is regarded as the father of Christianity, father of faith in Nigeria, and be saying shame on somebody that some people would not even dare call Adeboye, or would not even dare mention his name. Many people would dare not mention his name, and many people who will mention his name will only say that the Gio, or whatever they say, Papa, Daddy, what they call him, Daddy Gio, Papa Gio, and things like that. That's what they call him, because they would dare not mention his name. And here comes one young guy that is saying shame on, where is it? Shame on Adeboye. And I want us to really pay attention to this video today. That's why I want you to go and invite all your friends. Go invite all your friends. Go invite your relatives, and go invite the redeemed people that you know. And you will see, I hope that they also will reason with me and reason with me why I've been doing what I've been doing. If we Christians and Christian leaders ourselves, if we don't begin to speak out against all the maladies and the wrongdoings in the African church, if we don't begin to correct ourselves, if we don't begin to point out the evil amidst us, you know what? The disenfranchised individuals like this guy here, I don't know who he is, but he's called himself an atheist. So people who, the aggrieved people like him, they will be the ones to call us out. And they are going to be rubbishing everything we stand for. They are going to be rubbishing the church. They are going to be rubbishing the fathers. They are going to be rubbishing everything that we believe as sacred. In fact, some of them will get to a point of rubbishing the name of Christ and the name of God, just because of the things that we have refused to confront. So what I'm saying is that if you see Pastor Sunday talking about all the wrongdoings in the church, and I am talking about them because if we don't do it now, all these atheists will begin to think that we're all the same, and that that's who we are. And they will become disenfranchised, they will become discouraged, they will become disillusioned, and they will begin to attack all of us. And especially, I spoke to, and what made me to show this thing, and why I'm going to be doing this program today, is because I spoke to a lady, a young girl from Nigeria, a young girl about your age. She's a Nigerian. Her father is my friend. Her father is a bishop in Nigeria. And the father is such a godly bishop, a godly. Her parents sent her here to Ukraine to study here medicine, and her sister, just because how close we were with this family. So one day she was calling me because, she has direct access to me. She called me on Skype and told me, I'm with my friends, and my friends are discussing you in Nigeria. I said, your friends are discussing me? I mean, she's a young girl. I am this 50-year-old grandfather, right? And she's a young 20-something-year-old girl. And she's saying, our friends, these are her age mates. What do I have in common with your age mates? What are they discussing about it? She said, because, Pastor, you don't know what is happening in Nigeria now. I said, what's happening? She said, what is happening in Nigeria right now is that a lot of young people of your age, 25 years old, 24 years old, 21 years old, they are becoming, all these are pastors' kids. Pastors' kids, or people who grew up in the church, or their fathers were Sunday school teachers, or they were, some kind of ministers in the church. They all grew up in Sunday schools. They all went to church. They all knew each other as Christians. And you know what? She said a lot of these kids now are turning against the church. And not just turning against the church in a good way. They are turning against the church and becoming atheists. I mean, Nigerians are not atheists. And she told me, Pastor, so when she told me that, I thought, oh, no, she's probably exaggerating a little bit. Maybe 1 or 2 atheists are there. But she said, Pastor, believe me. She said, she told me this. So those ones of them who are considering becoming atheists as well, some of them ran into my messages and started saying, oh, if there is a Christianity like what Pastor Sunday is talking about, then why become atheists? So there is still hope in Christianity. And they started saying, because this man is talking the same thing we are saying, that we cannot compromise, we cannot reconcile. Especially the children, you live in London, in England, okay. Especially the children of Nigerians in the diaspora. They cannot reconcile the gospel that their parents are preaching to them and the European society that they live in, and they are totally messed up. Either they are going to be hypocrites who don't want to go to, or who are just going to church but living their own lifestyle, or these other Nigerians think it's better for them to just be sincere. And what they mean by sincerity is just to say, we don't believe in all this. This all is a mess, and just to become atheist. You know what? This guy here is a son of a pastor. This is the illustration and the proof of what Mary was telling me. This is one of them. The son of a pastor, a minister in the church. This guy used to be a minister of the church, grew up in the house of a pastor, and now is one of those young Nigerians who are declaring themselves atheists. And these are not Muslims who are becoming atheists. These are pastors' children. These are Christians declaring themselves atheists because of what they see going on in the Nigerian church and is not being addressed. So these things that are not being addressed in Nigerian churches by the elders, they are waiting for the fathers, for the pastors, for the elders to address these issues. When they are not being addressed, they go to the internet, they go on the internet and begin to declare a war. So this guy, let's see the title. He did a video that is called Shame on, where is it now? He did a video. Look at the title of the video. I mean, this shouldn't be happening. It doesn't matter how I relate to Adeboye. It doesn't matter all the disagreement that I have with Adeboye personally, but this should not be happening. A young boy or even an old boy shouldn't be going on the internet and calling an elder, a grandfather, shame on him. You shouldn't be calling out. So, I mean, a kid like that shouldn't be calling out. And if you see how many comments the guy had, he had thousands of comments. And, he had so many comments, likes, shares. And people were sharing him on. This be telling me that, oh my God, revolution don't come. If thousands of people are sharing him on, somebody is saying shame on you or Adeboye, and thousands are sharing him. In fact, 23,000 people have watched the thing now. Can you see? Can you show the number? Where is it? 23,000 people have watched it just in a few days. And all of them are sharing him on. And I'm saying, my God, if thousands are sharing on, there is a revolution brewing. There is a revolution brewing, and if we don't do something about it, these people are going to not just call us out on TV. They are not just going to, they are going to take on, on something, on some knives and cutlass and some weapons, and they are going to come after these people because there is an anger that is brewing. And that's why I want to show this program today, and I call it why all Christians must speak out against syncretism in the African church. All of us must begin to speak out. So right now, instead of blaming me and saying I'm Antichrist for speaking, because when we speak, now they are taking my side. They are saying Instead of choosing atheism, let's listen to Pastor Sunday. Let's give Pastor Sunday a chance because he is at least sincere. He is talking about these things. So it's not all bad. All those ones, and this guy, I bet you, I'm going to meet with you one day, and he's going to be converted back to Christianity because he just needs to know that there are genuine Christians. And instead of us being silent, the plague of silence will kill the church. If we don't want the plague of silence to kill the church, we have to begin to, admit our fault and begin to talk about these issues. So let's go ahead and see what this guy is talking about. Please, thank you.
To condemn tithes. And all the so-called that the GO could do was to use the fear factor, the fear intimidation, the brainwashing, to give a response, which I think is very, very, very stupid. Well, you don't actually like my utterances because I don't know how to cherry pick. I don't know how to sugarcoat. I don't know how to twist. I deliver it straight from my heart, straight from my mind, the way I see it. Daddy Adeboye, you were silent when an evangelist, a pastor, in your own church in Kubwa, Abuja, Pastor Eunice was massacred.
Now this guy, I don't know where he was. I think he was actually a member of Redeemed himself, and I don't know. I'm not sure if his father has his own church, or it was his pastor, his father also was a member of Redeem, or he's still a member of Redeem. But this guy, see the way he's talking to these people. I mean, it's painful. Go ahead.
Was brutalized and her head severed from her body. What was her offense? She preached the gospel on the street where there is a mosque. Daddy Adeboye, I want to remind you that you were silent then. You never said anything. Till this very moment I am doing this live video, you never said anything against the killing of a pastor in your church. She was beheaded and you were silent about it. You never reacted. Not even a statement from you, from your office. You kept quiet while this woman was being, massacred. Then again, in South Kaduna,
I personally don't believe that Pastor Adeboye or Redeem was silent when that woman was killed. I know that Pastor Adeboye or Redeem leaders went there to see the family, but you see, this is just a result of anger and disillusionment. So these people are so angry and disillusioned that they will use anything now to castigate the man. And the reason why this guy has come out against Adeboye and is saying shame on Adeboye is because of the answer, the response, and that's what the point is trying to make. That Pastor Adeboye never gave a response to when these things happen, but when it comes to money. So he's trying to make a point that the church in Nigeria is worshiping money. And that shame on you, you are silent when people are being killed, but when it comes to money, you are now talking. So that's the point he's trying to make. Okay, let's go.
Some, should I call them Islamic extremists now? Or headsmen, or whatever you choose to call them. But all I know that they are the Allahu Akuba set of people. They took on an area, a neighborhood, or a community, or a group of communities, and villages that are predominantly Christians. At least we have 95% of the people in those villages as Christians. What did you do when? Yes, network is back on. I'm asking Daddy Adeboye, when Christians in South Kaduna were being massacred, when they were beheaded, they were maimed, decapitated, brutalized, killed, their children ripped from them, their houses burnt to the ground. What did you do? And you are one of the most popular figures in the Christendom in Nigeria. What did you say? How did you respond to that attack, to that massacre on Christians? You kept quiet. You never said anything. Now, there are so many pogroms, there are so many brutalities, there are so many massacres being meted on Christians of their own faith. I am not a Christian. I am an atheist. I know. But what I'm saying is, what was your response? What did you do when Christians were being massacred in South Kaduna? You said nothing. You kept mute. You kept quiet. But now, we have a young man by the stage name Daddy Freeze, who came out in all of his effrontery, in all of his wisdom, in all of his knowledge, his biblical knowledge, and he condemned Tithing using the reference from the Bible, giving you stories or scriptural backings to buttress his point and his claims or opinion, however you want to put it. But instead of you are a mathematics professor, if I'm not mistaken, yes? Professor of mathematics. I want to believe that the GO Adeboye is very learned, very schooled, very vast and broad, intellectually, academically, even politically. Yes, we know that, politically. How did you counter him? How did you respond to Daddy Free's claim that Tithing is fraud, being perpetuated, being committed, being aligned, being adjusted, being rearranged, being readdressed, and being used as a siphonian weapon, as a to liquidate their members' finance. All you could do, Daddy Adeboye, was to threaten your members with fear. There is no such thing as divine cause. Stop threatening your members with divine cause. There is nothing like divine cause. I expected you to respond using the same scriptural backings. All you could mention was Malachi chapter 3, reading from verse 8 to 11. Is that all you got to tell your members? In fact, you should be shamed and ashamed of yourself, Daddy Gio Adeboye. You are not living by example anymore. Not that you ever did. How can you justify that Nigeria, one of the poorest countries on earth, have the richest men of dogs? How can you? Tell me, how can you convince a man with senses, working and functional, that Nigeria, that is home to at least 140 million starving people? Take it from me and leave it. Enough of how we present ourselves in public, covered up. We are starving in the country. We are hungry in the country. We don't have electricity in the country. But yet, at least 10 of the world's richest men of dogs are from this same poor country. You did not tackle that. You did not handle that.
Wow.
You left that side alone. And started to threaten divine cause. Sometimes I just blame these cowards, these morons, who don't just want to think with their heads. That if you don't pay your tithe, that there's going to be a divine cause. That if your earthly father causes you, you run to your pastor. If your pastor, the parish pastor causes you, you run to the general overseer. The general overseer causes you, you run to God. And if God causes you, who do you run to? Daddy Adeboye. That is very shameful of you. It's very shameful of you. Is that all you got to do? Is that all you could say? Is that all the response you could muster? You could force out of your mouth? Why threaten people with divine cause? There is nothing like divine cause. Don't you are threatening with divine cause.
Now, you know what this guy is saying, as much as they are the same thing I've been saying, and they are detained. And I think if not 50% of Nigerians, at least 20%, maybe 30, maybe 50 even of Nigerians will agree with what this guy is saying. So, and the reason why he has the audacity to come out like this is that this is a new time. Oh, revolution is brewing. Oh, people are waiting for revival. Hey, I beg, instead of revival to come, it might be revolution that will come. Oh, the way things are going in this country now, we might not be seeing revival. That's what I'm saying. Because we might end up reaping revolution. Oh. So I personally think that what this guy is doing is an insult. What this guy is doing, I don't support him. I cannot side with him because this is an insult. It's even against our culture. But if we Christians, and what I'm trying to say is that we give him the permission, we empower him, we Christian leaders, the Christians that are refusing to challenge ourselves, to challenge the evil practices among us, we that are keeping quiet, we that are practicing, because evil only prospers when the right people, when the people of God, the righteous, keep quiet. We are the ones that are making all these things. So you see what he's saying? He's making legitimate points. And the legitimate point he's making is that why are we, and he's using Pastor Adeboye as is, the person is, throwing his anger at, that why is it that Christians are not talking about issues that matter to ordinary people, issues that even matter to God, issues of justice, issues of righteousness, issues of truth, issues of equity. We are not addressing them. And because we are not addressing these issues, so people like this who used to be members of our churches, people like this who used to serve in our churches, people like this who are pastors' sons, by the time we discover it, even people who are sons of children who are having their houses and their homes in the redeemed camp, their children in that same redeemed camp will be plotting our execution. That is how revolution happened in Russia. Because the revolution that happened in Russia was done and conducted by the children of the Russian priests, Russian believers. So if we are not careful, if we don't begin to address the things that matter, if we don't begin to speak out and say, no, these things are wrong, if we don't begin to condemn these things now, you know what will happen? What will happen is that these children, our own children, will carry cane and gun and weapons and come after us. They will, all those churches we are building, they will ransack them, they will tear them down. They are going to shame us. One day your child might come home and listen to this kind of guy and say that I don't even believe anymore, because they have their own controversies. And what we are telling our children is, oh, keep quiet. God knows. Oh, keep quiet. That will not satisfy people of this generation again. Oh. We are living in an enlightened generation. It is in those days when there was no internet, nothing, no, people are not exposed. People are just living in silence. Anything you tell them, they cannot query you. But now, they are just one Google away. They are just one YouTube away from knowing the truth. Oh. So if we don't begin to talk right now, we are going to be brewing all these atheists that are going to cause us hell. They are going to cause everyone hell if we don't begin to talk out and purge ourselves and purge the church of the bad eggs. Let's keep on hearing this guy.
Chiefs, the people that you've locked them here, they go nowhere. Their brains have become your property. You've taken over their minds with your illicit teachings.
Is it not the same thing we'll be talking about? That people should use their mind
on so many other gods of men. I'm focusing on you now, Adeboye. Your response was cowardly. Your response was sick. Your response was less than intellectual. Your response was ukimized. Yes, many of my followers don't know the word ukimized. If you are of Edo, Benin and Asa, maybe and Everons, you know the word Uki. Uki means a fool. Then Paulinus of Peren now changed it, now recoined it. You know, taking the Asa and Anglo and terminologies out of the word Uki and ism to become Ukiism. You are suffering from Ukiism when you cannot provide a viable answer to a scriptural condemnation of tithing. You don't have anything tangible to tell your members about tithing. All you could do was to apply the fear factor, the same factor that have been used to keep people in religion. Fear of hell, fear of eternal condemnation, fear of roasting in the fire, burning with brimstones. Fear factor. Fear factor. How many?
You see this guy, you know, he's the one that is bold enough first. He's just the first one. No? This is just the seed of many of his kind that are growing underground, that are growing in our houses, in our churches. In fact, he said he was serving in some of these churches. He used to be sitting there with all those doubts in his mind. And a lot of people like that, like him, are sitting down there questioning our practices. And this is a new day. People are losing the fear factor. The fear. You see, the fear factor is no more holding him down. You know, so as soon as Nigerians lose fear factor, they will take all those church buildings from us. They will organize themselves, throw all these GOPs away, go and take all the money and send people to school. They will use the money to send people to school, to give them education, to build hospitals. If we don't begin to change our ways, if we don't begin to address these issues that these people are asking, because logical kids, young people, you know, they will be thinking that, what this guy say is true now. They are building schools that we cannot attend. Is it not true? Are they not the ones that are being kept out of schools, out of universities? These people are now thinking, you know, and the fear, we are using, Africans are just using the fear factor as the biggest argument to hold people down. And all the parents are saying, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. Using fear factor alone to hold people down. But you know what? People are losing fear, and once that fear is gone, only God can save that country from revolution. And their revolution will not just be against politicians. So, in fact, they might even leave politicians alone. They will now, because they now know that these pastors, they control more money than politicians. So what this guy is saying, we have to listen to it. I am taking this very serious because I have been exposed to his history. And I know I live in Russia. I know how the first atheists, this is the first atheist country in the world. And this is the first revolution country in the world. So I know what is happening right now. The fact that this guy could speak with this kind of veracity and this kind of boldness against the very top man in the country, in Nigerian Christianity, and not be afraid, it means that something is happening in that country. It means that people are getting liberated. And, you know, and if we Christians don't take over the crusade, don't begin to correct ourselves, don't begin to stop some of the practices, some of the evil practices that is oppressing the masses. If we don't stop them, if we don't begin to work for the masses, if we don't turn our eyes and our face to the poor, if we don't begin to address the issues of the 10 million children in Nigeria that are not going to school, if we don't begin to use our tithe and offering for the orphans, if we don't begin to send our tithe and offering to the widows, if we don't begin to do what the Bible says, that the tithe and offering is for widows, tithe and offering is for orphans, tithe and offering is for something. If somebody just came on this board now and said, Pastor Sunday has totally backsliding. We knew he was Antichrist before, but this time he has even started putting atheists on his own platform. And that I am now promoting an atheist guy. That if I have now partnered with atheists to attack the church. That's the way they are saying it. That I have partnered with atheists, that this guy, I have partnered with him to attack the church of the Lord Jesus Christ. They don't know that if we don't learn, I don't even know the guy yet, but I want to know him because I feel his heart. If you want to blame him, that is because he's atheist. If you want to say he's bad, he's Antichrist, he's bad, that he's talking the truth, he's talking his heart. I don't even think this guy is an atheist. I don't think he's an atheist. I think it's the anger that is driving him. I think it's not that he hates God. In fact, let me tell you the truth. I think this guy loves God. Only he hates the pastors who are representing him. You know, it's like Mahatma Gandhi. What did Mahatma Gandhi say? He said, when I read about your Jesus, he said, I fall in love with him. But then when I meet your Christians, I want to run away from Jesus. From your Christians, from your God. When I read about your Jesus, I fall in love with your God. But when I meet your Christians, I want to run away from your God. So this guy, I think that is what has happened to him. And not just him, but all these other young atheists that are coming up in Nigeria now. They are all becoming atheists, not because God is bad. I don't think this guy hates God. No, I don't believe he is. He is saying it that he doesn't believe in God. But it's because we have not convinced him with the love of God. It's because we have not shown the face of God to him. It's because we have not shown the real God, the way God himself looks. We have not shown... Nigerians have not met God, We have met religion. We have met, cruelty of religion. We have met all the wickedness of pastors and the exploitation of churches. But Christians, Nigerians have not been exposed to Christianity. You know what I mean? They have not experienced the love of Christ. They have not experienced the care of Christ. They have not experienced the kindness of Christ. And this guy, he knows it because he's speaking our language. He's speaking our language. He's been in the church. He knows exactly what happens in the church. So we cannot fool him. And there are going to be many of them who are losing the fear, who are no more afraid, who knows what is going on. And because they know what is going on, they are now going to expose us if we don't go out and begin to speak the truth and repent of the wrong things we have done and say, okay, let's bring real Christianity. If we are going to keep on taking the money, exploiting the people, telling the people they don't have voice, that they are slaves, as long as we are making them to be slaves, these atheists will keep on growing in our churches. These atheists are not coming from Russia. These atheists are not coming from European universities. So they are growing up in our churches. Our churches have become the brewing ground for atheists. Our churches itself, the place where we are supposed to be using to bring people to God, to destroy atheism, is now the brewing ground for atheism. And he is not the only guy, If you think he's just the only crazy guy, they are thinking he's crazy. Me, I don't see craziness on that guy. As much as what he's saying is insulting, yes, I don't agree. Calling Baba Adeboye, what they call him, shame on you and all that. And other people. I don't agree to that, right? But that is just his passion talking. But in his heart, I think if this guy meets a real man of God, you will discover that this guy, he loves God, or he wants to love God. They are looking for truth. It is truth they are looking for. And if we don't begin to live in truth, now revolution go change us all.
Of you have been to hell and come back. Well, I have been in hell. Nigeria is hell. Somebody made a joke and said that when rapture takes place and he is to go to heaven, and God says no, and God said no, you are going to hell. The person said all he has to do is to wave the Nigerian flag and say, dear God, I've been here already, which is true. How many of your members can afford to pay the tuition fees of the schools that they carry their parts on their heads for? Or the hospitals that they lifted sand, cement for? That they gave their hard-earned money for? How many of your members can afford the school fees? How many of them? How many of them walk from distances of 10-15 kilometers to come to church every day without food in their stomach? And all you really do is to get money and put yourself in your private jet. Criminals. Nigeria is undergoing an intellectual revolution. Sadly, one of our brethren, Nnamdi Kanu, was doing the political side of it. And I and so many others out there, kudos to you all who are beginning to speak out, who have you have laid down your fear. You have conquered this fear factor they use on you.
See? I told you.
Some of my friends commenting here will tell you I was a Christian.
You see?
I wasn't born an atheist. I was a Christian, just as many of you are right now.
You see? You see?
I served in church,
You
in
see?
the drama department, in the youth protocol department.
You see?
I served in church. We know the gimmicks, the tricks in there. And let me also remind you, you want to convince people that they are suffering, that there is problem in the church. Let me give you an example. If there are 200 members gathered in a church, the possibility that one of them is looking for a child is there among 200. The possibility that 50 of them want cars is there. The possibility that 30 of them want American visa, Canada visa, UK visa is there. The possibility that the student there, at least 20 of them wants admission into higher institution, they are there. The possibility that the women there, some need money or capital to start businesses, they are there. So when you use this microcosm of a few people in their need of either children, cars, admission, capital to start business, or visas. When I say to a congregation of 200 people that if you know that you are that man, that woman, that youth I'm speaking to, that I'm leaving these car keys to you, come forward and sow a good seed and tap into that anointing. Shut up, you fool. Shut up. There's already the knowledge that in that congregation, not everybody is well off. If I am in that congregation, for example, there's a possibility that I will stand up when you mention capital. Yes, I will come out when you mention capital because it is genuinely my desire. I have a business idea I want to activate, and I need capital. So you're talking to me, then that will not force me to dip my hands in my pocket and come out and sow what we call amen offering.
Amen offering.
Criminals. Criminals. Why are you people deceiving Nigerians in the name of Jesus?
You see, you can see the anger of the guy. So it's not against God. It's not that this guy is against God or Jesus. It's against the deception that is happening, and we are quiet. And as long as we are quiet about the evil that is taking place, as long as we are not exposing these deceivers among us, we will reap atheists too. Now, so I tell you, we are going to reap atheists. I think it was last week, one day, that I was preaching here, and I heard it clearly that if people don't receive this, my message, that the next thing that will come up is that members of churches are going to be arising to chase up their people from the church. I think I said it, it should be recorded. It was one of these something I did. You know, I got it in the spirit clearly that if this syncretism word and this paganism word, this warning that is still coming from me now, they think I'm harsh. You wait till this kind of children rise up. And God forbid, if we don't meet these people's demands now, if we don't go and talk to them and show them real Christianity, if we don't change our ways and our acts, if we are going to keep on killing and persecuting people like that, if we are going to keep on attacking people like that, and saying he's demon possessed, he's demonic, hey, we will get worse than that. We will discover that the free self is good. We will discover that the free self is a Father Christmas. Because these ones that are coming now after that freeze, you see, they are now our children saying and declaring to us in our face that we are evil and that they are atheists and that atheism is better than Christianity. If we don't begin to speak out, and not just pastors should be speaking out. I think all of us on this platform, I think God is calling all of us and challenging us to lose our fear. I think God is calling all of you to lose that fear that's gripping you. If a 20-year-old or 30-year-old young man will become fault like this and call everybody by name and just speak out his mind and no fear at all, and they said, don't touch me, no my anointing. Nothing is happening to him. And because it is the evil that has, or if we don't talk, if we don't begin to talk, we are going to keep on losing the children, and we are going to reap thousands more of these atheists. I mean, somebody say he's just the crazy one. He's not crazy. I mean, maybe you say he's crazy, but you go and look at the comments. I look through the comments under this video. Maybe 90% of them are positive. 90% of the comments they are supporting him. So it means the country is tired though. And those people, soon they will not just be writing comments, because they are not afraid of putting their names there in the comment. They are not afraid though. And when they are putting the names like that and the comments, soon they will come out with the weapons and chase everybody away from the pulpit who is collecting tithes and misusing them, or building schools and not allowing children to go inside. So I think it's time for all of us to begin to talk.
Why? I repeat, how many of your brainwashed members can afford the school fees of the same university they've been paying their tithes and offerings to build? How many of your members can afford 3 square meals a day? But these are the people that you collectively take tithes and offerings from. Back to the reason I'm attacking you now, Adeboye. You did not have a viable response to give to counter that the phrase, who gave the whole world a reason to look into Nigeria's pastoral ministry. You criminals that have taken religion out of context. I ask you again, who and whom can claim in your Bible that paid tithes to Jesus Christ? Was he not a preacher like you? Was he not a miracle performer like you? How many of you can lay claims to any part of the Bible where Jesus took tithes and received tithes? You are threatened because you know that when the awareness begins to grow, when the awareness begins to circulate, when the awareness begins to materialize, that the ministries are beginning to suffer funding, and there will be no more money to fly your private jet, to service them, to maintain them. The other one in Port Harcourt said that he deserves a private jet for ministry. I'm asking you, where did Jesus Christ have to fly flying horses in the name of ministry? There was this fool that was saying that in America, that Creflo Dollar have private jet, Kenneth Copeland have private jet. What is other one's name that mentored the host? Ola Robert Senior and a junior now, and his own private jet. Let me ask you, in the America that you use as a case study, do you know that animals in American zoos live better than you? You talking in Nigeria here, I can prove it with simple common sense. Animals in Nigeria zoo, in American zoos have electricity 24/7. They have vet doctors at their beck and call 24/7. They have unlimited food for them 24/7. In fact, they don't have entertainment 24/7. Turn to your National Geographic channel and watch it for yourself. You are telling me that American pastors cruise on private jets. They drive on Bentleys, on Benzes, on Bugattis, and that Nigerian pastor cannot be an exemption. Is America a poor country? If you are not foolish, is America a begging country? If you are not stupid, the members paying those monies in America, some of them are richer than your governor who even stole to be rich. Compare the their life expectancy there with yours in Africa here. Have you been able to eradicate malaria in Africa? We are dying in silence, and people are no longer are comfortable with this trend. People like me say, no, we must need to challenge these people, because you are not helping this country. You are not. We have so many ministries everywhere. What is the manifestation of these churches everywhere? What? Tell me, I'm asking you. Give me a viable reason why Christianity has helped Africa. There is none to show. None. Church in my backyard, church in my front yard, church on my left, church on my right, church in my back, church in my front, church above me, church beneath me. But how has it transformed our national living? How has it bettered the lives of the average Nigerians? How has it transformed our infrastructures, our academic life? We are dying, and these gods of men.
You see, this is the cry of every Nigerian. And if we don't listen now that this thing is brewing, if we don't begin to correct ourselves. I was talking in Nigeria one time in Lagos. One of the Lagos pastors, I was telling them, take care of the poor. Go and reach out to, in Lagos, poor people everywhere. One of them came up to me, Paul. He's my friend also. He used to be my friend at least. Paul Adeboye. He came to challenge me. He said, I have BMW. I have the Jeep. I have this. Pastor Sunday, with this your gospel. Me, to go and sell? I should go and sell my car and go and be taking care of some poor people. Me, I will not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I believe in prosperity. God has blessed me. If they want, let them go and do what I've done. Let them go and seek God like me. Let them go and pray like me. And then God will bless them also. And we have church there. Let them come. I say, Paul, you read the Bible. Jesus himself, God himself said, take care of the poor. And he said, Pastor Sunday, did it your gospel will not sell here? That, okay, let them not receive from me. But with this kind of guys rising up, hey, it might get bloody. That's why I think that the churches should begin to listen. The ones who are saying, I am doing something poor, I am doing something bad, I am antichrist, they will now know that my own is easy. My own is even kind. It is kindness. It is love that is making me. It is the love of God, love of the church, love of the pastors, love of the church, of the brethren, that is making me to tell us what we must change now before it's too late. Because all those churches that even Paul himself is bragging that he has built the largest or the most sophisticated building. If he's not careful, that building is going to be turned to university or to school. And all the 4x4 square kilometer we are building. If we are not careful, it's going to be turned to a warehouse. Because the way things are going, people are going to depart those churches and they are going to be using them for people. Because people are not going to be gullible forever. And people are not going to be living in fear forever. And this thing we are seeing right now is an example of it. This guy, why is it that God is not killing him? God is not going to kill the guy. God is not going to stop him. Because he has truth on his side. A lot of the things that the guy is saying are true, if you want to talk the truth. As a lot of the things this guy is talking about are the things that I am talking about myself. And we must all, Christians, if we like the reputation of the of God, if we want to defend God's reputation, if we want to stand for the truth, let us all begin to speak the truth. Let us all begin to speak the truth. Let us all Christians bring real Christianity back. Let us all begin to speak the truth. Don't let us live in fear of men. The fear of men puts you in captivity, but the fear of God gives you freedom. If a small boy like this will be bold enough to break that bondage of fear, who are you not to break that bondage if you are a Christian? If you are Christians, let us break the bondage together. Let us begin to tell the truth. And when people like him see that we are on the side of truth, that we are using the gospel. We are like Jesus. Why did Jesus feed the poor? Jesus fed the poor because of compassion. Why did Jesus do all the miracles he did? Because he had compassion for people. But when we just are greedy, we just want to build our own empire. Oh, of course, if maybe God himself will inspire people like this to come out, because sometimes if we don't hear, through the message of love and through good example, God will allow wickedness. It's just like it happened with Israel. Whenever God was trying to teach Israel and Israel was not listening, he will allow the enemies, he will allow people to come and butcher them. And only after pain, he will allow them to go into bondage. He will allow them to go into slavery. The reason why they went to the slavery of Babylon, for example, is because of the disobedience. They were not listening to God when it is okay. I mean, when he was talking, when God was trying to talk to them, reason with them. If we don't reason with God right now, we might lose our country. We will lose our churches, and we might lose our faith, and lose our children, and lose our grandchildren.
Are smiling to the banks. Do you know that they have now started to build microfinance banks?
Stop.
You know what?
I saw a comment. It's like I saw a comment now. Where is the comment? It's like I saw. Where is it? Can I find that? There is a comment. I didn't read it, but I saw. It's like somebody was saying, "I am the guy." Yes. Is there a comment?
I unpinned it.
Can you pin it again? Let me see it. It's like there is a comment there that the guy was saying. It's like he was saying, can you find the comment? And I want to see the comment. It's like the guy himself is here. Yeah. What's his name? Is his name Paulos or what? Paulinus. You know what I'm going to do, Paulinus? If you are here, I don't know if he's still here. If he's still here, I want you to wait to the end. Because by the time I finish this thing, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to open the line, the telephone line, for everybody that is watching right now to begin to call in. So if Pauline is here, I want him to open I want him to stay to the end. So that when you stay to the end, you can't see the comment. Okay, but I think other people are saying he might be here also. He might. So if he's here, I want him to hear me now and stay to the end. And all of you who are watching too, to stay to the end, because when you stay to the end, I will open the line, the telephone line, and I want everybody that want to call in. Okay, and the way to call in is this. You just need to go to Facebook Messenger, not Facebook, but Facebook Messenger. The Messenger place. You go there and look for the word Move Agents. Move Agents. The Move Agents Matic, but Move Agents. If you just have Move Agent, you see Move Agent Matic. You will see it there. Go and write there that I want to call. Once you write that you want to call, don't call immediately. Just write that you want to call. Once you write like that, we'll call you back. So even that guy that did this video, I want to listen to him. I think we should give him right to talk. People like this, we must give them right to talk. And we must hear their burden. We must hear their grief. That's why, I didn't know him. That's why I'm thinking that if he's still here now, he will tell you himself. I don't think the guy is as evil as people are trying to make him to be. I think the guy, just has his own pain and grievances. And as far as I'm concerned, I think that guy, that he's not the only one like this. I think he's standing for a generation of aggrieved Nigerians, of our children and grandchildren, we pastors. And, I think he's here. Yeah, I think he's here. You see? He said, I am here live and direct. Good. We must kill the fear factor. There is no cause on tight defrauders. Fear thee not. Beautiful. That is the guy himself. I want you to wait to the end, though, so that because I'm going to open the line, the telephone line, and we are all going to be calling in today. Okay, please continue with this message.
They are beginning to see that the billions they are amassing in our commercial banks will soon begin to make people get mad and lay out costs. The government of the world, you are foolish for not taxing these ministries, these multi-billion-dollar empires. You are foolish, but you can ask me and my poor family members to pay taxes. You can ask us to give value-added taxes. When I buy fuel in my car, you take VAT. When I buy a bottle of Heineken, you take fat. When I buy batteries for my remote controls, you take fat. When I recharge my phones, you take fat. But you don't tax these ministries. You don't tax these ministries. These ministries that are worth billions of dollars, billions of nairas.
You know, there was a time last year, that maybe it was even this year, that somebody came up with a law, a government official, that, you know, the GOs that are over 70 should retire, and that the churches must not be passed over from father to son and family as a family business, because all the offering that they use to build the ministry is coming from the public. It's coming from all the people. I mean, everybody, like Oyedepo, even Adeboye, all of them testify. When they started, they were all poor. But because people are coming, it's the public that gather the money. It is the public that build the churches. But the way people treat that in Africa is like the public don't matter. As if since you have brought the money, forget about it. You know, just bring the money. That's all. But in the West, charity commission, or what they call it, in America, for example, or in Britain, charity commission will query you. How do you use public fund? So they wanted to introduce that same rule in Nigeria and say that any money that is coming in, that it is not just your own. You don't just use it anyhow you want. It is a public fund. And so that money must be accounted for. But in Nigeria, nobody accounts for it. The men of God will just take it and use it anyhow. And it is not right. And you know what? When that policy came out and the government said we should introduce, sanctions and, measures to control how the church's money is being used, and not even taxing them yet, but just to control how it's being used. The Muslims agreed. The business people agreed. It is the churches that said no, and they used their power, their force, and their influence. They killed that thing. They killed that thing, and then they removed the guy who was the head of the something and just chased him out and humiliated the guy, disgraced the guy. But I went and I said, God is going to fight for that guy. And in fact, we have the video. I recorded the video last year, and I said that guy that, you people are fighting and you are criminalizing because how dare he touch you? How dare he touch this? That it is God that has punished him. I said God will fight for him because we say we want revival in Nigeria. We say we want change in Nigeria. And this guy has he's trying to start the change instead of us supporting him. We are the church who are praying for revival, who killed the whole thing and removed him, disgraced him, and said it's God that is destroying him. I said God will speak for him. Now, God is vindicating that kind of guy. God is vindicating him, and through this, because this Paulinus guy is not the only one. There are going to be thousands of them that are going to lose the fear factor and are going to begin to talk. In fact, government himself will have to be forced now to make law, and it's not just going to be saying give report again. They are now going to be saying pay tax for all the money. If you cannot fix the road, you didn't fix the road, pay tax for it. Then let pay tax to us. Then we will fix the road. If you have all the money and you are not doing anything, and then government will have to collect it from you so that the government can do something with it. So things are changing. This is a wake up call. Oh. Me, I don't see this guy as an agent of Satan. No. I am seeing him as somebody that God is using to bring judgment and to do wake-up call for Nigerian church, so that we wake up and come back to our senses, all of us, all the GOs and all the churches and all the Christians even. All of us must begin to put our acts together. We must begin to talk about all these challenges and problems we have. We must begin to destroy the plague of silence and begin to speak the truth in love and begin to, do what is right and begin to demand from our pastors. Demand from our pastors accountability. Demand from our churches accountability. Otherwise, when the churches will be empty, we'll see what the pastors will do. Maybe it's time for members to begin to walk out of the churches and just, leave the church and begin to serve God in their homes with their families. And like in the Bible days, people were not building churches. They were not going to churches like this. They were in their houses. They were, in the homes where they were serving. Maybe it's time for it so that the eyes of those pastors will be open. Although many of them have so much money that even if we go, they will still live for the rest of their life in abundance. But at least the evil will stop.
Don't tax them. You don't tax them, and you expect the country to move forward. Why are there more churches than hospitals in Nigeria? Why are there more churches than schools in Nigeria? Why are there more churches than science institutes, than libraries, than small macro healthcare centers? Why? Because the church is not being taxed. That is what gives people like Adeboye to come on air and threaten the members with divine cause. May that same cause be upon you for not being able to tell yourself the truth, Adeboye. Threatening members with causes. What kind of nonsense is that? Is that a scriptural way to defend yourself? Is that all you could come up with to defend your scam? Sometimes I just blame our religious people. You won't just understand for once. You won't just pick up common sense and apply it. Can you imagine? You are taking your currencies, your money made from the church now, stashing them abroad. What is the difference between our pastors and our politicians? What is the difference? Can anybody tell me? One of them steal by awards of contracts. They award contracts and overinflate these contracts, and they steal money in that area. How about our pastors? They steal by instilling. They steal by they make you believe. They make you believe that the only way you can prosper is to pay tithes. And excuse me.
You know what? Let me get back. It doesn't understand. So you see what the guy is saying. The grievances of the guy is difficult to fault it. It's difficult to fault a lot of what this guy is talking about. A lot of what this guy is talking about are things that are out there for everybody to see. I mean, of course, I will not support the fact that he's calling out Papa Adeboye and, you know, saying shame on you and all these pastors. But we have gotten to that place. We have gotten to that place that these people, the whole country is angry. And these young people are angry. They are angry. But, you know, we just have to love them. I don't think that we should go and be hating them, attacking them. We should just love them and show them understanding in their grievances. And let them know that, no, we are ready to tackle the ills of the church. That we are ready to tackle all the grievances that these people are complaining about.
Divine cause. Please, Adeboye, I'm challenging you now. You, place a divine cause on me. What you believe. Divine cause. Divine cause my ass. And the camera went through the crowd. You need to see some, they were already scared. These are the sheepos. They're already scared. Begin to tell your members in your family, your friends, begin to expose their consciousness that we are no longer in the era of fear. We are in the era of questioning. We no longer live by fear. We live by force. By force of knowledge, wisdom, and enlightenment. Not some religious quack, tripping out with fear. Fear of what? Fear of speaking out the truth. We will not keep quiet anymore. We must bring down the forces that have held this country hostage. And I'm sorry to tell you, it is not only our leaders in the politics or politicians. The pastors have played a major role. In fact, they have aided and con men called men of dogs. I have them in my families too. Do not think that when I come out to scrutinize these men, that I'm sparing the ones in my family. No, they are everywhere. I'm telling you now, I'm challenging you now. If you remove tithing from church, in the first 1 month in Nigeria, at least 200,000 churches will be closed down. You want to bet? The other day, the former governor of Edo State, Adams Aliyu Shomole, wanted to do a clamp down on churches in the GRA axis of Benin. And guess what? You needed to see the panicking, the lobbying, the rolling up and down. What profession was your pastor before God called him into ministry? What is the difference between a pastor called to ministry 2 years ago and today is a multi-millionaire, and a politician who came into politics 2 years ago and today is a billionaire? What is the difference? What is the difference? Stop being scared of these men. Stop being afraid to speak out against oppression, against intimidation and extortion, anytime, any day. Stop being their tool. They use you. They use you to get free labor, free clothes, free feeding, free recharge card, free private jets, free exotic cars, wonders on wheels, and even free pussies. You know, the Stephanie Otobo style. Come on. They tell you you will go to hell. My dear, tell them there is no hell you are going to. Poverty in Nigeria is already hell. That man that cannot eat breakfast this morning, that does not even know where his lunch will come from, let alone dinner at night, he's in hell already. When you make ₦1 million a month, your tithe is supposed to be 100,000 naira a month. Now, let's assume that you are stupidly faithful and that you pay that 100,000 naira tithe from your ₦1 million income every month. In a year, you've given as tithe 1.2 million naira. But the last time I saw your father, he's not even riding an Okada, let alone a keke and pep. The last time I saw your mother, her wrapper has different countries mark all over it with thread. You go to churches these days as a social gathering. Show it, Owambe, to go and show your new headgear, your new makeup.
You know what? Now I understand why Nigerians are saying what they say. You will die. You will die if you speak the, you speak the truth, you will die. You don't speak the truth, you will die. So you might as well speak the truth and cuckoo die. That is what Nigerians are now saying. I think if that slogan takes over the country, then revolution is coming. Revolution is coming. Because a lot of the things this guy is saying, in fact, I have an impression that this guy must have been watching me.
Disciple.
But how should he be an atheist if he's a disciple? Because a lot of the things he's talking about, they are the things I've been talking about. And that's why we must have a lot of Christians raising up the same topics and talk. When we expose them, there will be no place to hide. The only thing is that when everybody begin to talk about these things, people who are now doing them will be ashamed. You see, all the pastors are now coming out and they are saying, all the pastors are coming out and saying, what are they saying? They are saying they are in defense of tithe and offering. You know the reason why they are coming out in defense of tithe and offering? In fact, they are telling their members to go and do plate numbers, I tithe. You know, and to make their staff members to say, I pay tithe, I pay tithe. The reason why they are still proud of saying that I collect tithe, I do this, is that enough voices have not arisen yet. It's because enough people, enough crowd have not started talking about. By the time so many people begin to talk about against it, you know what will happen? If you will be ashamed, people who are now stealing people's money or collecting people's money, they will now be ashamed of, you know, misuse. They will, in fact, people who have universities will be ashamed of demanding money for it. They will be ashamed, because they know that if they do it now, crowd will come and beat them down. So that is why everybody must begin to talk. The more people begin to talk about these things, and if we speak about it, you know, we who are Christians and we who are not abusive and people, but we just speak the truth, the more this truth will go, the more Nigeria will change. Let people begin to know that, you know, love. Christianity is about love. Christianity is about care. Christianity is about kindness. You know, all these points that this guy is making, they are legitimate. So, you know, we should begin to speak.
Your new expensive gold ring, your new Michael Kors Rolex watch, your new Dolce & Gabbana, Versace, and Gucci. So that before the pastor even made that prophetic utterances, you are the first to reach the front of the altar. You went there to show off. We know those people. We used to see them those days. How can you tell me categorically that you will spend your money on your GO or your pastor or your bishop, whereas your parents in the village have been labeled as those responsible for your downfall, and you ignore them? You are so stupid, you are so ignorant, you are such a disgrace as a child to those parents. Nigeria needs a thorough, violent, and aggressive attack on the institutions that have held us captive, and namely the government and the religious institutions. They are the forces that have kept this country down for life. We go nowhere with this kind of mentality. Threatening you with divine cause for not paying tithe. Is that not laughable? Is that not stupid? Is that all he could say?
Okay, I think that's it now. You know what? Some other people are writing and saying that they are atheists too, and they are following me. That they are atheists, but they want to listen to me. Okay. Well, I think we will reach a point of agreement at a point, even if we are all atheists. Yeah, I know that a lot of atheists are following me, and even Muslims are following me. They said they like to listen to me. And I hope that soon all of us will march together in Christ Jesus.